Alright, so I've been spending some serious time with the 2026 BYD Atto 3, and honestly, I wasn't expecting to be this impressed. When you think about Chinese EV makers, there's still this weird gap in perception, right? Like people know they're good on paper, but there's always that question of whether they're actually good when you're sitting in one, driving it every day. Let me just say up front, I'm not here to hype this thing just because it's new. But the Atto 3 is legitimately solving problems that other electric SUVs are still fumbling with. First thing that hits you when you get in is the interior space. This thing is deceptively roomy. The wheelbase is smart, and they've clearly thought about how people actually use cars. Your rear passengers aren't fighting for legroom. There's actual storage everywhere, not those weird, pointless cubby holes that real humans never use. The panoramic roof is standard on most trims, and it genuinely makes the cabin feel airier than it has any right to be for a compact SUV. Now, let's talk about what everyone actually cares about. The battery and range. The 2026 model gets this new Blade battery tech that BYD's been working on, and the difference is noticeable. You're looking at real-world range numbers that don't require a PhD in electrical engineering to understand. The standard version gives you around 300 miles on a full charge, and that's not optimistic YouTube testing. That's actual human driving. Highway, city, mixed conditions. And here's the thing most manufacturers won't admit. Cold weather doesn't completely destroy your range like it used to. Charging is genuinely convenient. They've paired it with these new 150 kilowatt superchargers that are actually rolling out everywhere now. 40 minutes to 80%? That's not revolutionary anymore, but it stops being a constant anxiety spiral, which is what matters. Plus, the home charging setup is actually straightforward. No cryptic manuals, they've included the hardware, it's simple to set up, and it just works. But here's where the Atto 3 really separates itself, the driving experience. I went into this expecting it to be fine. Fine is the worst compliment, right? This isn't fine. The steering has actual feedback. The acceleration is smooth and purposeful, not this jerky thing that some EVs do. They've really dialed in the regenerative braking, so it doesn't feel twitchy or like your brakes are fighting against the motor. It just feels like a well-engineered car that someone actually cared about. The suspension handles bumps better than you'd expect. It's not too soft, not too hard. It's like they actually tuned it for roads that real people drive on, not just marketing videos shot on perfectly smooth asphalt. Road noise is minimal, wind noise basically non-existent. It's quiet in a way that makes you realize how much cheaper EVs usually are just slapping in basic insulation and calling it premium. Safety tech is comprehensive without being annoying. The adaptive cruise works intuitively. The lane keeping doesn't randomly jerk you around like some systems. They've clearly understood that technology should help, not create a co-pilot that contradicts you every 5 seconds. There's this newer version of their autonomous parking that actually works without you having to trust your life to an algorithm from 2019. The infotainment system actually makes sense. The screen is responsive, navigation is smooth, phone integration just works. Whether you're Android or iOS, they've got it figured out. There's no laggy touchscreen nonsense or menus designed by someone who's never actually used a human interaction before. You can actually find settings without wanting to throw your phone out the window. Storage space is genuinely useful. The frunk isn't huge, but it's there. The cargo area is cavernous compared to the footprint. They smartly designed the battery placement so it doesn't eat into passenger or cargo space. Again, this sounds boring, but it's the difference between a car that works in your life versus one that requires compromise. Pricing, and I know this matters, they've actually kept it reasonable. You're getting a well-equipped, genuinely competent electric SUV without paying the premium that's become standard in this category. That means more people can actually afford this technology, which is kind of the point of electric cars becoming mainstream, right? Maintenance is straightforward. No oil changes, obviously. Brake fluid changes less frequently because regenerative braking does most of the work. Tire rotation is regular schedule maintenance. They've built it to not nickel and dime you after purchase, which has become shockingly rare. After spending real time with the 2026 Atto 3, it's clear that BYD has done their homework. They're not trying to reinvent the wheel or make some futuristic statement. They've looked at what works, what frustrates people, what matters in daily life, and they've delivered that. That's harder than it sounds, honestly. If you're in the market for an electric SUV and you haven't seriously considered the Atto 3, you're probably missing something. It deserves to be in that conversation, not as some quirky option, but as a legitimately solid choice. So there you have it. If you've got questions about it, drop them in the comments. Let me know what you want to see next.